Welcome back to another lovely edition of the Lovely Grunge Bible Podcast, episode 106. We are kicking off April. This is the first episode of the new month. My name is Chris Salona, and I am joined, as per usual, by the lovely Ethan Shalloway. We're recording on Saturday, April 1st, but there will be no shenanigans, no fools, no pranks today. It's just an hour of hard-hitting grunge rock.
Damn, we're going an hour, Chris? All right.
Just a quick episode.
April Fools, we're going 15 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, we thought about doing some good old April Foolery, but we decided
There's only so many
to.
times you can do that.
Yeah, we can only do a album review over Creed or Nickelback. I mean, you can only do that so many times, and so we're just here to offer you a good episode, a fun episode, something a little bit different. And we talked about potentially doing this, and we went to the internet and asked ChatGPT or whatever to give us
Chat Grunge Bible. ChatGPT. Yeah, we've got some questions from.
We want to see what they know about grunge.
Yeah, we're gonna see what they know about grunge, and we're gonna see what they want to know about grunge. And who better to ask than two schmucks who've run a social media page about grunge rock for the last 7 years. So I'm excited. This is a little different. Hopefully it'll be funny. We'll see what ChatGPT wants our opinions of as it relates to grunge rock and the genre.
But you know, before getting too into it of what they asked, when we're trying to figure out questions and topics and stuff, we have this brain that is wired to kind of think about the same ideas the same way. So then you ask a computer that has no idea, it just spits out funny questions that are kind of hard to think about. It's hard to come up with dumb ideas sometimes, but they just throw out these random stuff,
completely
and
unhinged.
and you think it's hilarious, and you're like, oh my gosh, I never would have thought of that, because you have a way of thinking, you're wired a certain way, so. That's kind of fun, because they're kind of like curveballs and stuff, and just random stuff. If
Absolutely.
grunge was a cereal, what would it be, type thing. So
I totally agree. Well, Ethan, how's it going today? It's the first day of the new month, April 1st. How are you doing today? We got to check in.
I'm doing good. I don't know if are we going to get into this now? What we're doing for April?
Let's just do it quick.
Save
yeah,
it.
Yeah, we'll do it now.
So I'm doing good. I haven't had my coffee yet today, and I'm not gonna.
There's a
sadly.
reason for that.
Yeah, April 1st marks me, you, and my brother Quinn are doing this thing we're calling non-negotiable April. And we're cutting out mainly caffeine and nicotine. Those are the main two things that we're cutting out. And we're doing a few other things that we're adding, but we're just telling ourselves that this is non-negotiable, and we have to. Anytime you want to do it, you just have to remind yourself that you can't. And we're just going to take the month off from caffeine, let our body reset. Take the month off from any nicotine, let our body reset, and hopefully come into May with just a new sense of energy, I guess.
Yeah,
so
I'm
excited.
Spirit.
Besides, other than that, I'm doing really well. I did get some pretty good sleep. I just wasn't able to have my coffee this morning. So, and we got an uphill battle the rest of the month, but we're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm happy to be on the train too. I got some real good sleep last night. I am not. Some episodes come easier than others in terms of the administration of the episode and just getting it done. And this has been a tough one. Saturday morning, it's raining, and Ethan, I'm just going to be honest. I don't want to do this right now. But you know what? We're going to do it, and we're going to have a good time, and it's going to be fun. And we get to share some time each week as we do with our community. And we wouldn't be here without the people that choose to sustain this community. We're really thankful, obviously, for anybody that listens and gives reviews and certainly gives their legal tender to us. Most notably would be the top level supporters on Patreon. Their monthly monthly commitment to the show keeps us running into our 25th month, which is a long time. So at this time, I would like to thank the following individuals who are currently members of the top tier on Patreon. I would like to thank Alex Long, Black Hole Sean, Alexis Shannon, The Blue Owl, Lauren Irene, Marianne, Seattle 4 Fanboy from New Jersey, Shoe the Shoeless, What the Fuck's Up Denny's, Corden Stewart, Christine Shepard, Millie, Nikki Six, Brother Nature, Rachel Corning, Captain Hightop, Kara K, Eddie Vetter got me through my second divorce, Doug Endy, Chris LSMS, Jamie Lynn, Carlene Salona, Jade Mercado, Granny Grunge, Faith Bittner, Fuck Soup, and Fresh Tendonitis. So thank you one and all for your support. And if you are listening to this podcast and you feel so divinely inspired to join that, just go over to the show notes and you will find the link to our Patreon website where you can give us your money as well.
That would be greatly appreciated. So please do that.
Yeah, I got to say, I almost had a little hiccup reminiscent of my rendition of the top Patreon supporters when we did the Purple episode, and I couldn't get through it without laughing. But,
yes.
I recovered. You lose your voice sometimes and you recover.
Your voice cracked, but you recovered.
Just like Richard Manuel, exactly. So
wow,
I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, excellent showmanship.
Thank you.
So... yeah, okay. I'm just thinking about what you said, how you didn't want to do this episode.
That's okay, though.
Yeah,
because the
train rolls on, because we have some really, really fun stuff.
Well, this will be really interesting, and I'm not a tech person. I'm not in tune with that world, nor do I really care about it. Like the crypto tech brothers, like out there, that pay for Twitter.
Yeah.
That's not really my bag. But obviously, being a human on the internet, you hear about these things, and I gotta say, dude, like some of these questions that ChatGPT has asked us about grunge rock. It's interesting, and they're insightful, or they provide the opportunity for an insightful response.
Right. So it is crazy. So you can just type in a question, because I've actually never used this.
This was the first time I used it too.
Yeah. So you can literally just type any question and get a response, or ask for questions, or just ask them to do
anything you want. You can type anything, and they will reply to you.
And they reply, and
it's not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
I just picture this room somewhere where people are just frantically typing.
They have to respond.
And they're all wearing like 1960s, like the black skinny ties and the short sleeve dress shirts, like the white dress shirts. They're all ripping cigs.
Well, I think I saw a meme, and it was like ChatGPT, the people working, it's like, make a joke about grunge rock. Now another. And you keep asking for jokes for grunge rock, and it's like,
oh yeah.
So that was the first thing that you did, though. You pulled up some jokes from. You asked them to make jokes about grunge, right?
I did ask them to make some jokes about grunge, and
do you have any on hand?
Yeah, some of them were kind of funny, and some of them were a little disrespectful. Like one of them was, why did the grunge...
are jokes. That's
yeah,
jokes,
exactly. So why did the grunge rockers start a band? Answer, to avoid getting a real job. Like, it's just... What do you call a grunge rocker without a girlfriend? Answer, homeless. It's absolutely terrible. Then the other one, how do you tell a grunge rocker to leave your party? Answer, tell them you're out of PBR. Which I respect. I mean, as an aficionado of PBR, I mean, if I'm drinking PBR and then they tell me that there's no more PBR, I might leave.
I mean, the party's over when you're out of beer. So
yeah. And then another one, how many Pearl Jam fans does it take to change a light bulb? Answer, 10. 1 to change the bulb, and 9 to argue about which album is their best. Which, I mean, that is Grunge Bible in a nutshell. That's everybody who's ever interacted with us in a nutshell. So it was cool. So we had some of those to kind of like wet our whistle a little bit. But now, they're not giving us the answers. It's strict questions. So we have questions that kind of, I asked this great unit of people in the sky.
It's like the Magic 8 Ball of the new...
Yeah, it's like Magic 8 Ball, but cooler. So
is it cooler, though? Magic 8 Ball was pretty cool.
It's like Magic 8 Ball, like, what am I going to eat for lunch later? Outcome does not look likely.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. Yeah. No, I mean, it's It's interesting. So we've got some questions that kind of run the gamut in terms of how thought-provoking they are, how serious they may or may not be, and how important they are to us. Because let's be honest, there's going to be some questions that our answers will be of great personal importance to us. So without further ado, Ethan, may I present the first question that ChatGPT has given us to answer?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this episode is strictly entertainment value. So understand that while you're listening. No album reviews
I hope they don't
here.
understand it.
Yeah. Let's do the first question though. Give me.
All right. How did the grunge rock scene evolve over time, and what factors contributed to its decline?
It's honestly like I'm in AP US history, or like you're in this like rock and roll history, and I need to write an essay.
Yeah. What's your
and
thesis statement for
this
that?
Is like a prompt. It's like, what was it? Like, what was the... I wasn't even...
How did the scene evolve over time, and what factors contributed to its decline? Well, I think first and foremost, the decline... the death of Kurt Cobain, I think that pretty much changed the era irrevocably moving forward. But, the evolution over time, I think...
I think people playing together. Yeah, people playing together and seeing, the bands
and I think
being
the
around.
genre's popularity informed the scene's evolution in the sense that there were a lot more outside influences. Not to say that had a large say in like the music that was being made, but I certainly think it changed like the feel of the scene. I think like the ethos was the same for all of the players, but it definitely changes when you have all of this fame being introduced, and obviously it affected a lot of the individuals who were making music at the time in very, very big and difficult ways. So I think I think Kurt's death and also the just inescapable fame and attention also contributed to its decline. And I also think movements like that, they're not meant to burn forever. The candle, eventually you run out, and all things end up, all things must pass. So I don't think it's like one of those things that grunge would still be around if Kurt Cobain hadn't passed away. I don't agree with that. So
yeah. The importance could be if he wouldn't have passed away, who knows how we would look at the scene completely,
right?
And look at, we wouldn't have had Foo Fighters, and that's, but
like the thing is, like, I don't even think, like, if Kurt hadn't passed away, I don't think Nirvana would have been together for much, much longer. I feel like it had kind of run its course, but, we'll never know. And that's why, ChatGPT asks us questions that we really can't answer.
That's a great question. That's a good question.
It is a good question.
That's something that you, like I said, you'd find on an essay. Like, what were the cite your resources?
Well, another one, I feel like class, the session continues. What was the impact of MTV's coverage of grunge rock on the popularity of the genre? This one is, it's critical. Impossible. It's impossible, I think, to overstate how much of an impact MTV had.
Anybody that grew up in that time, they always reference how MTV was, it was really how they got their music. Yeah. Right.
It could create, it could create legends out of bands overnight. It's whatever ended up being in heavy rotation, I think, informed not only what the public was listening to, but I also think in a large way it kind of informed public opinion on what was cool and what was in, and what was popular. And then you reach that point where something's now too popular, and then it's not cool, and then it burns out. But it made Teen Spirit. It made a lot of these songs. Jeremy's, Rocket to the Top, largely in part to the music video. And MTV was just such a widespread phenomenon that it's impossible, I think, to discuss the era and the popularity of the music without MTV. And I think the era and what was popular would look very different if we didn't have MTV.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, do you have any memories when you were young watching VH1 or MTV and music videos and stuff?
No, so I don't know. I don't know if it was that I wasn't allowed to watch some of those things, but I also wasn't really interested. Like my house was like a cartoon house, and we never really watched a lot of that stuff. So I fully missed the boat on that. Like I don't even think I ever saw like a proper music video until like I was probably in like 5th or 6th grade or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I obviously loved my cartoons growing up as well.
Yeah.
And
I didn't mean to imply that you didn't.
yeah. No. I mean, we were a big cartoon, but it's funny because like, how do you find stuff? Like obviously my dad or mom didn't just like put on MTV or like the top 100 stuff. So, but as a kid, I feel like I always flip through the channels, you know, because you just flip through to see what's on and stuff. And those were always like MTV Cribs and like, I don't know, they had like they had stuff that would pull you to the television program, and then like all of a sudden they would do a top 20 countdown like every Sunday or something on VH1. I think.
You remember like TRL, Total Request Live? I mean, all those shows.
Yeah. I think they actually did that every Sunday. They did a countdown for the week, and like, you know, it was the same basically. Like
they used to do that on the radio, with
minor adjustments, but
yeah, AT40 used to be on one of my local radio stations with Ryan Seacrest hosting naturally.
Yeah.
Naturally,
that's all he does.
It was either him or a Ryan Seacrest type. I mean, they're all, you know, like those guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that look like that.
There's a lot of people that look
do
like
that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who do that. You're absolutely right. So, yeah, I kind of miss that. Like, honestly, if there's one part about the era, it would have been cool to have had those memories.
Yeah, they're definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely things I wish I was a part of, but you know, you can't be doing that all the time.
Exactly. You know, so here's the next question from ChatGPT, and this is what they want us to answer. If you could replace the lead singer of any grunge rock band with a Muppet, which band and which Muppet would you choose?
I need to make sure that I got the Muppets.
Well, that's the thing. Like
the animal is the drummer, right?
My catalog of Muppetry in my head is not up to par. I mean, I didn't know that they had names. I thought they were just like the Muppets, like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Isn't it just like Alvin and then just the rest of the Chipmunks? Or do they all have names too? I
mean, I guess Kermit, obviously he's a Muppet, but
Is Kermit a Muppet?
Yeah, I didn't really.
He's a part of that?
I know, that's what I said. I don't picture him as a Muppet for real, but I guess all of them are Muppets.
Is this like a Sesame Street thing or what?
The Muppet Show includes Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, Gonzo, Rolf the dog. So yeah, I was, for some reason, I never really.
This is separate from Sesame Street.
Yeah, I think this. I'm just looking. It says the
My
Muppet Show.
My world is rocked.
I know. Why did I not like? I always pictured animals on drums. Floyd Pepper was the bass and background voice.
Oh, Floyd Sergeant Pepper.
Zoot was saxophone, and occasionally Lips was the and occasionally Lips trumpet. Holy cow!
All right, you want to know my answer now that I'm prepared with the nomenclature.
Yeah, what?
I think you take Soundgarden, you sub out Chris Cornell, and you put Miss Piggy up in the front.
That's good.
I think that's what you need to do. But then again, you put somebody like Fozzie Bear in Pearl Jam. He's got that deep baritone that can hit those. That would be dynamite too.
I mean, I'm just picturing, and this is not super grunge, but I just picture Kermit the Frog singing Linkin Park. Just falling to my feet. I want to see Kermit. I mean, you could do Kermit for any of these. Honestly, all the Muppets is hilarious now.
Yeah. You take Kermit the Frog, you give Lane a little bit of a break, and then Kermit harmonizing with Jerry Cantrell. I mean, that would be unbelievable. And not only that, I mean, the stage presence that somebody like Kermit the Frog would have.
Just picture Kermit.
Kermit with Pearl Jam. That would be incredible. So apparently, these are the types of questions that we need to answer.
I'm kind of blown away. I'm kind of disappointed in myself, but...
Are you ready for the next question?
Yeah, I am. That was a good one.
All right. Yeah, that was a good one. If you could be stranded on a desert island with any grunge rock musician, who would you choose and why? So This is good because this opens up... I mean, we could pick anybody. It's not just the lead singers. This could be... So, I mean, you have a bunch of different ways that you could think about this. It's like,
do you want survival? Do you
want a conversationalist? Do you want somebody with the survival skills? Do you want somebody who could defend? There's a lot of different. God bless you. There's a lot of different ways that we could approach this question. So I think survival is the right way to do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking survival as well, and I got to go with I don't know. Chris Cornell seems like he's going to be pretty up for the challenge and ready. I don't think the other lead singers would be as much help as Chris, but I could be wrong. I'm trying to think of who would give me. It's got to be somebody with some background. They're probably all pretty versed in maybe camping, and if they're up in Seattle, and there's some good stuff up there.
Well, you know who I'm thinking?
Who?
I'm thinking Jason Everman, who
that's great.
He was in Soundgarden and in Nirvana, and then he was in the Special Forces in the military. I have to imagine that with that comes certain survival skills and abilities. He might be the guy. Otherwise, I have to say, like Ben Shepherd, I think he could show me a lot.
They all got their combat boots, so they'll be able to.
That's the thing. Nobody's going to get trench foot over here. they're all going to be safe.
They're all ready for that.
Most important part. Yeah, that would be really.
Everman's a great choice, though.
I think it's got to be Everman.
We got to have him on the pod.
We do. He's
ready. We just need to ask him, I think.
Yeah. Well, we have. We just haven't. The scheduling is really difficult. Are you ready for the next question?
I am.
All right. How has grunge rock influenced broader culture beyond music?
Beyond music. Well, I think that obviously it had a large effect on the young generation of that time. So you had the teenagers, and I think that listened to Kurt and take Nirvana. I think they probably had the largest reach at the time, so they probably just influenced it, hopefully in a good way. But I think it just got a lot of kids like thinking and honestly like creating and kind of trying to find themselves. Without not just in Seattle, but across the whole country. I mean, because it's nationwide.
Yeah, I think it really it honed a generation's worldview and kind of what they thought about the world, what they felt they could aspire to, what hope or lack thereof they felt in the future. Also, obviously, goes without saying, I think it had a large impact on the fashion sphere and how people styled themselves and what people found to be desirable stylistically. I think at the crux of it, it's exactly what you said. It's just kind of like core values. I think the music informed it, and I think it unveiled a lot of what people were thinking and what people were feeling. And we always say that the best art has the way of describing your feelings to you when you're not even able to do that. So I think it kind of brought to light a lot of emotions and a lot of just sentiments that people had towards the world, and it kind of gave a voice to that and made people more aware of that.
And it challenges. I think it just challenges the kids of the time to kind of think about what they believe in or think about what they're doing, and that challenge allows them to be impacted, type of thing.
Yeah. 100%.
What's the next one?
The next question: if grunge rock was a vegetable, which vegetable would it be?
Let's see. Grunge rock or a vegetable? I don't know. This one's kind of tough. Like
my early thought leads me to kind of lean towards like the asparagus camp, something around there.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, it's hard to say. And then you have a lot of these, is it a fruit or is it a vegetable type thing? So that can get quite complicated. That wasn't a very good question. ChatGPT needs to get their shit together.
I'll say celery.
I like celery. Like I like your answer is celery. I don't really care one way or another about celery.
I think celery is undervalued actually, and maybe so is grunge. Maybe so is grunge. Yeah, celery is used for Yeah, we're just gonna say celery is the grunge of.
Well, you always have those people when they order the wings, they don't eat the celery. It comes with it. Dude, celery is gas.
Well, dude, celery. Yeah, fresh celery, but you gotta use cooking for. You put it in a roast. You put it it cooks really good. It adds a lot of value by itself, I get it. Not all that, but it's important to the whole scene.
Yeah, but like, who's gonna eat raw celery like without any sort of addition?
No, ants on a log. Remember them?
Use. Yeah,
little peanut butter and raisin on a
classic. What do you think about raisins? I think raisins kind of suck.
Yeah, I went through. My mom used to give me some raisins. Like,
the little sun-made boxes.
Yeah, oh yeah. But they're kind of weird. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
I don't want to slander them. I'm not, but
yeah, you know what? I think you're right. They don't deserve that.
It's crazy. They're kind of like like the refried beans of fruit.
Okay, but refried. I mean, the versatility of refried beans. I mean, you can't.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, you get beans and then, like, you get refried beans. Just like you get grapes and you get raisins. It's like the second, it's like the second life.
So is this the same, like, you have steak and then you have beef jerky?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Well.
Circle of life. It's the same way you have the Grunge Bible podcast doing a nice podcast on Temple of the Dog, and then you have them relying on ChatGPT.
Exactly. Next question,
Circle of life, baby. All right, are you ready for the next one?
As ready as I'll ever be.
This is a really good one, and one that we've spoken about a lot, and I'm quite pleased that the great AI in the sky has given us this one. What is the role of nostalgia in how we remember and appreciate grunge rock?
What is the role? I mean, the role would be it turns grunge into a vehicle of nostalgia because it takes you back to exactly what, you want to remember when you first listen to that. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Music is so powerful in the nostalgic realm. It's unbelievable. Like, it can really teleport you places. I feel like I've in the past, I always say that, but I feel like I've been really like listening to music and going back to like my teenage years and whatnot, and that only happens as time passes. Or you're only able to be nostalgic if time passes. So,
right, yeah, I think nostalgia. I mean, it's everything when it comes to this, because you have, I think that hook, the hook of nostalgia causes people to hold on to it and spend time with it. So it's like you recognize, because of the time you spend with the genre, you recognize its importance and its greatness. And then younger people hear older people talking about it with such conviction because of those emotions that they feel, and they get into it, and then it just kind of continues on in that way. So I think it's a big it's a big part of the engine, I think, that keeps the music alive and keeps that tradition not far from the minds of many, many different people across many different generations. And it's funny too, because, something that happened now 30, 35 years ago, people now discover it when they're teens or whatever. And then as they get older, they feel nostalgic towards it because it was, in a way, the soundtrack to their teenage years, because they were introduced to it. So, I think, nostalgia and music are intertwined, as much as, something and a sentiment can be, I think.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm trying to figure out the best way to maybe word this. Like when we were younger, like our parents, like they listened to classic rock and they would give us stories about U2 and maybe Zeppelin and stuff, and they're older.
Rush.
And then Rush. Yeah. And that's like the age range that we're in. But then like, the kids that are now maybe have teenagers, like they're talking about the grunge scene and the, you know what I mean? It kind of skips like you say, nostalgia is like a story, and like people like pass it on. So like we heard all the nostalgia about the classic rock scene when we were younger, because that's what people were like listening to and hammering, and like grunge was still close enough where you didn't get the nostalgia of it so much. I mean, you got like the 7 years of it, but it wasn't like the 25 years ago type of thing.
Right.
And now like, now like grunge is like 25 years ago, so it feels, and now the classic rock just feels like that much farther away, so it's not as, that's why there's like a boom. So maybe I'm trying to think of when we're older,
is classic rock gonna die,
dude? That it kind of like it's it's never gonna die, but it's the people that are singing the songs or telling the stories of them, of their nostalgia from that time are past are going to be, they're just older.
It's that weird thing too, that like people who are our age, like mid late 20s, like there's that thought always that I remember growing up. It's like, oh well, like I still feel like 10 years ago was the 90s. And I think when it comes to classic rock, like people are like, oh, like that was like 30 years ago. But now it's
My
50
brother in
years
Christ
ago.
was 60.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Like,
60s were 60 years
it
ago.
was a long time ago, like 1962.
60
Like,
years ago.
dude, that's a long goddamn time.
Yeah.
But like you said, but it's one of those things that I think like the musical tradition, the different movements and different sounds have had, I think they always exist, but they just, as the generations pass, they exist in different ways and they mean different things to different people. But, you know, it is weird to think, you know, but then again, it's like, you know, linear FM radio. I mean, like, they're never going to stop playing Led Zeppelin. You know, Stairway to Heaven is always going to be a joke. Smoke on the Water is always going to be a joke amongst, you know, guitar players. Same thing with Wonderwall. But it's like, I feel like those traditions, they don't die. There's just new additions to it. You know, people will just add different parts to that tradition.
Yeah. Then yeah, now I like Imagine Dragons being made fun of, or, you know, the Creeds and the Nickelbacks and the...
Exactly. It just goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Forever. All right.
Yeah,
I have another one that's very important.
Yes. Important.
Very important.
Our word.
Ethan, if you could have any grunge rock musician's hair, whose hair would you have?
Now, if you remember, we did an episode on Wayne Staley's hair.
Yeah, this is not a simple question.
This is not a simple question because there's lots of good hair in the genre, and then there's lots of different hair in the
There's
genre.
a lot of bad hair too, like blonde Eddie Vedder, mohawk Eddie Vedder.
Buzz Osborne.
I'm gonna pick Buzz Osborne. Which era of Buzz Osborne? Yes.
Yeah, all of it. Okay, this is tough. I feel like if I were to pick somebody's hair, I'm trying to think if I want to do something that, you know, I've never been able to do. Yeah, so like the dreadlocks lane, I always thought that maybe I'd put him in dreadlocks for a little bit. I was always scared because I figured you had to cut them when you're done. So, but I don't know if I want dreadlocks, so maybe not. How about you, blonde Eddie Vedder?
Frosted tips, Chris Cornell. No, I think I have to go with Eddie Vedder circa like 93. When it wasn't, his hair was a little shorter, I think, than it was in 92, but it was still long, considering when I grew my hair out, that's exactly what I wanted. And I kind of got there. Like, my hair was pretty long. And it's definitely, I really, really liked that hair. But then, I mean, Chris Cornell's long hair was fantastic, too. But then again, I mean, like frosted tips, it's kind of timeless.
Dude, frosted tips are, timeless.
If I could go back to college, I totally would have done that just to fuck around for a little bit.
I totally agree. I think, dude, I kind of want to go with I'm actually gonna pick Scott Weiland, the young Scott Weiland when he had the hair. I feel like that was
the blonde, like the dirty blonde, like spiky hair.
Kind of like it was kind of like longer, and he was
like unplugged era Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Like sitting in Soho Square playing Plush. Yeah. I like that. That's underrated. And you know, he obviously had lots of different hairstyles. That one's really, really good.
He did. He was a big hairstyle change guy.
Yeah.
So he would mix it up.
No Buzz Osborne though.
Not this time. I don't have the same body type as him. I can't.
I don't
have the Frank Reynolds look.
I don't have the same demeanor.
That too.
Yeah.
That's a good one though.
Yeah, I liked that one. So we have two more questions from ChatGPT that they want to ask us about grunge. The next one, we just did a tangent on this. I don't remember which episode, but it was fairly recently. But they want to know, what do you think the future of grunge rock looks like, and what new sounds and themes might emerge within the genre?
Oh my gosh! See, this is where you know ChatGPT knows nothing.
Yeah, this is where you know
grunge is dead.
Just when you think that they've been able to endear themselves to us by asking about nostalgia and MTV, they ask us about what new grunge is coming out and
new sounds.
Yeah, new sounds in grunge rock.
No, it's
nauseating.
It's done. It's one of those things like, in your favorite TV series, when it ends and it closes up well, good, you're happy, and then you have a really good TV show that you just keep going on. They try to add more. It's not, it doesn't work. They should just end. We should just be happy that grunge happened when it did. We have our stories. You have your nostalgia, and that's it. That's the toughest thing. I was thinking about that too with like certain things in my life. Like, you can't be upset that it ended. Just be happy.
You gotta know. You gotta know when to fold. Sometimes
you gotta know when to fold. Away. Yes, yeah.
Not everything needs a sequel.
Not everything needs a sequel. Not everything needs to go on forever either. You kind of need to let it.
Tell that to my first wife.
Be its thing. What about
my
the
second divorce?
Oh my gosh!
But no, it's totally true. I mean, I think grunge is not a living genre. I think you can certainly make music in the image of it, but I don't think you can tout yourselves now as like a new grunge band.
No, it's not.
I mean, it's just not right. You got to know when to fold. You got to know when to give it up and when to make your own thing, and kind of use those influences in a way that appeal to you and create something different.
Yeah. I mean, you can make rock music. I'm just not going to call it grunge.
That's the thing. Like any rock with a fuzz pedal isn't automatically grunge, just because because you like, just because you like In Utero, or, Steve Albini answered one of your direct messages once. But nevertheless. All right. Are you ready for the final question from ChatGPT regarding grunge rock?
Yes,
this is a good one, and I saved this for last for a reason. And the question is, if you could choose any grunge rock song to be played at your funeral, which one would it be and why? And I think first and foremost, it very much depends on the manner in which my life ends.
Okay. So expound on that, please.
Well, if I what's
the best case scenario?
I don't know. That's the thing.
What do we want?
It's like, what circumstances did I pass away in? And was it like he passed away after like a nice long life, or like he passed away in a tragic way, or like he was kind of a piece of shit and like he died doing something stupid? I think those all kind of inform the.
They're all within the realm of possibility here too.
Well, that's the thing. Like grunge is well equipped to deal with any of these potential outcomes.
That too, yeah. It's a very versatile genre when it comes to this.
Yeah. So it's really hard. I mean, there's some low-hanging fruit that pop up. I mean, you imagine like you're getting wheeled out of the church and Over Now by Alice in Chains is playing. It's like they have like the trumpet that's playing taps like a half step down at the beginning, and then lanes laugh, and then they hit that little riff. We pay our debt sometime.
Yes. Spoon Man, maybe get some spoon.
That's ridiculous.
Yes, dude. Okay, so if you had a tragic accident, what song would you want to be played?
If I died under tragic circumstances, I definitely think Release would be really, really fucking cool.
That's a good one.
And I've read a lot of comments of people saying that like their dads had that at their funeral, or like they want that at their funeral. I think that one would be really good.
Dude, I feel like Big Empty would be really good.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Dude, Big Empty.
Dude, Big Empty's so like kind of like the utility, dude.
Dude, Big
too
Empty,
much
man.
tripping and my soul's worn thin.
And it may be perfect for the tragedy. Honestly, one.
Dude, Conversations kill. Oh man, dude, I think Big. Like,
I know.
That's good.
Just with guitar too, like the. That makes a lot of sense.
I think Brother by Alice in Chains might be a good one. A Nutshell, obviously. What do you think about Rotten Apple?
Don't Follow would be good. Rotten Apple.
Don't Follow.
Don't Follow would be really good. That's if something tragic happens.
That's if something really tragic. Yeah.
Right.
Something really not ideal.
Something grunge adjacent.
Dude. Wow. Yeah, so those are some really good candidates.
What happens if you pass? I guess Release is probably one. If you die of old age, like Release is a
Release would be
one.
Good. I think Footsteps by Pearl Jam would be kind of a cool one for different ones. I would be inclined to say Hard to Imagine would be great. I would be inclined to say Hello to Heaven, but after discussing last week, Chris Cornell talking about how it was a song about a specific person, I wouldn't feel comfortable having that in a setting with myself.
Okay, Chris. What if What if you got selected to like go to Mars, and we sent you to Mars, and you never came back, and we had to hold a burial for you,
with,
even
like,
though
my body in absentia.
even though we don't know if you died. We lost you to space. What song would you want us to play?
Well, I feel like Space Boy by the Smashing Pumpkins. Were you gonna say Dance of the Clairvoyants?
Dance of the Clairvoyants.
Super Blood Wolf Moon.
My brother the Cloud. My brother the Cloud, dude.
I think like,
anything from Gigaton.
I was gonna say, Ethan, I think if like y'all blasted me off to space and I never came back, you would just have to play Eddie Vedder in the Earthlings album and then Gigaton just on a loop for the entire funeral service. They're so perfectly suited. Quick Escape. I mean, I had to get up there with some sort of velocity. So you know, what I mean?
Space Boy.
That's as quick of an escape as you can get.
That's so funny.
Such a ridiculous scenario. How did I get chosen for that?
I just at your funeral be like, we lost Chris to the world of space. We're not gonna say he's dead because we don't know, but oh, that's so funny.
Oh my god! I think another
I like this practice.
Yeah, this is good. Somebody who like passes of old age. It's like, you know, like when like if like you have like a great uncle who passes away at like 98, and it's like it's sad that they pass away, but it's more of like a celebration of their life. I think that lends itself to like a you know, an entirely different. I think Sun Shower might be cool in that setting.
Yeah.
Just Breathe by Pearl Jam. I know that one's been used at weddings a lot, but I think that one could be good, kind of, you know, for a bookend type thing. Well, there's one that we're forgetting. It's a deep cut off of Lost Dogs, the Pearl Jam compilation album. It's a song called Dead Man, which Eddie Vedder wrote for the movie Dead Man Walking in the 90s with Sean Penn in it. And it's about somebody going to the electric chair. So, I mean, I guess if I ever, you know, were to be capitally punished, I guess I would have to choose that one. But this is a good exercise.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. It's because songs just have, you know, songs can just, they just tell such a story, and it fits. So it's such a important thing to pick the right songs for situations like that. But
I'm still just picturing there's an empty casket and Super Blood Wolf Moon. It's just blasting across the speakers.
And everybody doesn't know what to do because they don't know what's going on.
Right, because it doesn't make any sense. Yes. Oh man, that'd be good. Yellow Ledbetter would be cool too.
Yeah, that would be pretty solid.
Yeah.
That would be good.
There's a lot of really good ones.
No Nirvana choices out of all of those. We didn't. I don't think we said any Nirvana, which is fine. You know, I mean,
I don't really think. Maybe All Apologies.
This is more Pearl. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah,
All Apologies would be good.
Something in the Way.
That would be
depending on how we passed.
Yeah, that would be heavy. Oh man. Yeah, and there's obviously. I mean, this conversation could go on forever.
Well, I'd say that this is, you know, if that did happen, if we lost you to space, then we could do a tribute episode to you, me and Drew, and that would be fun.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, that wouldn't really be fun because we'd have lost you, but we'd have good.
What the hell's wrong with you?
We'd have good content.
How about
can memorialize?
Picture this: like you pass away, and the song that they choose is flat out "Fucked" by Mudhoney.
Throat Locust by Tad.
Oh my god. I think this exercise has quickly evolved into like, what is the most inappropriate song we could choose?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. What is? Yeah. Oh, dude.
This is a really. We could have done a whole episode just off of grunge funeral songs, and we might have to.
Yeah. I mean, this is fun. I hope it's entertaining for everybody out there listening. And
if it is, great, and if it's not, that's the last question, so it's done anyways.
Yeah. And we'll do better next week. Simply put.
Yeah.
But this is a lot of fun.
We'll do better next week.
Yeah. We'll try and do better next time, knuckleheads.
Exactly. Well, if you're still listening to us, we thank you for putting up with the last 45 minutes of grunge rock content. If you'd like to support us, you can leave a nice comment, a nice review, send us a message, ask us any questions you might have, any suggestions to improve the show, leave a review, rating, give us your money, buy some merchandise, or support us on Patreon, or just ask us for our Venmo or something if you just want to make a one-time donation. That's also
buy us
acceptable.
a beer.
Yeah, buy us a beer. That's been done before a few times, so it could be done again. We'd also like to thank our producer, Drew McFadden, who is undoubtedly at this very moment anxiously waiting for us to send him this episode so he can edit it and package it to us so we can get it out to you on Monday, April 3rd. And that's it, you know? That's the way that goes down. Yeah, that's all we got.
It was a pleasure. Like I said, these questions actually were pretty thought-provoking.
Yeah. We're going to have to do this
The first
again.
one caught me off guard. I actually didn't expect, because originally, when you sent me over the idea,
it was a bunch of funny ones.
It was a bunch of funny questions. Yeah. So you put, what would the ideal grunge
I put the Muppet one in there in the sample that I had sent to you.
Yeah. What if grunge rock had a catchphrase? What would it be? Like, I don't know.
See, like it's so hit or miss sometimes with
it's lame.
This ChatGPT. So,
but thank you everybody for listening.
Yeah, man, 100%.
Tomorrow, the Sunday. Yeah, I guess we'll compile songs of the week into this as well. We can, but I'm going to see Goose tomorrow, and I'm very excited. I have an extra ticket, because I had a friend bail, not talking about you, Chris, because I know you couldn't make it, but somebody else bailed on me. So I need to do my best to fill that spot. / maybe I'll just sell it for.
You could do that.
Get the. I don't want to eat it completely. So
right. Yeah,
but I'm very excited. I think I'm gonna pick a. I don't know. I'm assuming you're going to talk about the record, so I'm gonna probably pick a Goose song, and I don't know. Go and listen to all of Goose. Just go listen to some live shows. If you listen to the Reading show from when they played in, is it September? I don't know when I yeah, I think it was September, October, but that was a show that I went to. So maybe the Reading show in Saratoga. But anyway, Chris, anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I would like to say my song of the week, and that would be Super Blood. No, that's not my song of the week. On March 31st, the lovely supergroup Boy Genius, comprised of Phoebe Bridgers, Lucy Dacus, and Julian Baker, just released their first ever full-length studio album. They had released an EP back in 2018, but the record called The Record is out, and it's pretty awesome. I really like it. I've been looking forward to it for a long time, and at this very moment there's a vinyl copy of it making its way to me somewhere in the ether. But nice. I would like to pick the final song from this album called Letter to an Old Poet. I'm going to pick that one as my song of the week. It was a really good way to end the record, and it's really cool too because the last part of the song is like a direct melody callback to one of their songs from their first EP, which was that song was Me and My Dog. So this one kind of calls directly back to it, 5 years later, which is really cool, considering everything that's happened in their lives in the last 5 years and in everybody else's lives in the last 5 years. So that would be my song of the week, album of the week. That's what I have.
Band of the
for you.
week, yeah.
Band of the week.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. It is a really good album. Gave it a listen through yesterday. I'm excited to get back into it again. Because we're just starting. We just started with it. Who knows where it'll take us. So, thank you everybody again for listening, and we will be back next week, same time, same place. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll, everybody.